Very good morning to all the Form 4 and Form 5 students. Today we'll discuss comprehensive exercises part 2. Discussion question 5, 6 and 7. For question 5, the range and standard deviation of a set of numbers x1, x2, x3, xn are 10 and 5.2. respectively. Calculate. Okay, the range and standard deviation for the set of number 2x1, 2x2, 2x3, to xn. And for the B, the range and standard deviation for the data that given x1 minus 1 over 4, x2 minus 1 over 4, and so on and so forth, until xn minus 1 over 4. Now, let me explain the question. So when you see a question like this, they give you a set of numbers x1, x2, x3, xn, meaning that the data was not given. They give you the unknown. So the data maybe is 1.1, 1.2, 1.3 or any data. Okay, so the data is not important. Okay, but how they modify the data? They say the range and standard deviation of the new set of data. When they say new set of data, meaning that they modify the data by multiply by 2 for A, 2x1, 2x2, 2x3. So the data being modified by 2 times of the original data given. So the original data, they give you x1 to xn, and with the original range and original range is 10, and original standard deviation was given 5.2. So you're asking to find a new one after they modify the data by multiply by 2, the new range and new standard deviation. So you should know the shortcut that I teach you in my previous video. The range and standard deviation, are they affected by the number that you multiply by the constant? The constant here is 2. Still remember? Okay. So if you forgot, you can refer back. Okay. For B, they modify the data by minus 1 over 4. Each of the data, they minus 1 over 4 uniformly. For the 10 data, they do the changes by minus 1 over 4. Okay, so you're asking to find the range and standard deviation for the new set of data. After they times 2 for A, and for B after they minus 1 over 4. Okay, understand? So you try first. If you cannot get the answer, later you can refer to my discussion in my video teaching. Okay. Okay, for question 6, the masses of a group of 8 pupils have a mean of 45 kg and variance of 2.5 kg. Okay, calculate the sum of masses of 8 pupils. Okay, this one you have to use a formula. Sum of the masses means sum of the x. So you have to find the sum of the x, total masses. Okay, for B, the sum of the square of the mass of the pupils. Okay, for B also you have to find the summation x square. Okay, so this one also you have to use a formula. For question 7, the mean of a set of numbers m minus 4m, m plus 2, 2m, 2m plus 3 is 10. Mean was given, so you have to calculate the value of m. So this one you just use a mean formula. That means you add all the number, you divide by how many number there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 number equal to 10. Then you find the value of m. After you find the value of m, you substitute the m into the set of numbers, and then you use a formula to find the standard deviation. Okay, please do it carefully and double check your answer. Okay, for part B, each number in the set of data is multiplied by 3 and then add by 2. So this one is the data being modified uniformly by multiply by 3 and plus 2. Calculate the variance of the new set of data. So you have to use a concept that I teach you. When you plus, when you multiply the data, okay, you have to see any changes or not to the variance, to the standard deviation, to the range. Okay, you can refer back to my previous video if you forgot. Okay, please try first before you refer to my discussion later. Let's see question number 5, the range and the standard deviation of set numbers x1, x2, x3 until x10 are 10 and 5.2 respectively. Calculate the range and standard deviation for the set of numbers 2x1, 2x2, 2x3 until 2x10. So it means the data is being multiplied by 2. For every data, they times 2. So the data being changed by multiplied by 2, and they change it uniformly. So still remember, when the data being changed, we have learned in our previous lesson, when each value of a set of data multiplied by a constant, then the new range is equal to the k times the original range. So the k here referring to the constant 2 that you multiply. Okay, multiply by constant k. Okay, constant is a number. So that means that times 2. So that means if you find the new range, it will be followed by 2 times the original range. Okay, the original range was given in the question there. So that means we will substitute the 2 as our k. Okay, so new range is k times original range. And how about new standard deviation? New standard deviation is equal to k times original standard deviation. Okay, and original standard deviation was given from the question. So we can use the original standard deviation from the question. Okay, so the range is 2 times 10. 2 is from the question. Okay, the range is 2 times original range is from the question. 2 times 10. So the answer is 20. So you must read the question because the question said the range, okay, are 10. It was given there. Okay, so we just use the information given and use the concept that you learned before. And how about standard deviation? Standard deviation also affected by multiply. So we'll take 2 times, okay, 2 times the original standard deviation was given in the question, which is 5.2. So we just use the information from the question and we just multiply by 2. So the new standard deviation now is 10.4. So it means that when you multiply the data by 2, the range will change to 20 and the standard deviation will be double also, become 10.4. So this is so-called the effect of data change. Okay, for 5b, almost the same. So the data is being changed at -1 over 4 uniformly. So we will actually take the data, okay, all the data, -1 and over 4. Okay, so original data is x1, x2, x3 until x10. So the whole data actually affected by -1 over 4. So still remember, there are no changes to the measure of dispersion when the value of a set of data is added, okay, or subtracted by a constant. So when you see the question -1 or plus something, plus a number, so you have to ignore for that because it won't be affected by minus or plus. For measure of dispersion. Okay, so we will just consider multiply and divide. So when you see -1, you can just ignore the -1. So we don't have to -1 for the new range. Okay, because as I mentioned earlier, okay, the measure of dispersion does not change when you plus or you minus by a constant. The constant here is 1. Okay, constant, as I say, is a number. Okay, so when each value of a set of data is divided by a constant k, then the range of change will be changed, okay, by dividing by the constant also. So the new range will become the original range divided by k, and then the k is a number that you divide. So here k is 4. The standard deviation also the same. You have to take the original standard deviation divided by 4. So the new range now, you take the original range divided by 4, just divide by 4. You don't have to minus 1. So the new range is 2.5. Okay, please refer back to the textbook if you forgot. It's at the page 228, and for the standard deviation is at the page 229. Okay, so the new range is 2.5. So if you still not sure how to do, you need to go through the question again. The range was given 10, so you just use the number 10 and you just divide by 4. Okay, you'll get answer 2.5 for new range. So as I say, the number you plus or you minus will not affect your new range. And for standard deviation also the same. Standard deviation also not affected by number you plus or you minus. So you just use the standard deviation given, the original standard deviation given from the question. Okay, read the question first. It's 5.2. So we will take the 5.2. So we will take the standard deviation and divide by 4. Okay, original standard deviation is 5.2 divided by 4, so your answer is 1.3. Okay, so for question like this, you must understand the concept. Okay, you have to memorize that for measure of dispersion is only affected by the number or the constant that you multiply or you divide. It is not affected by the number that you plus or you minus. Okay, please remember that, because everything depends on the concept. If your concept is not good, you cannot do. So you have to practice more. Okay, let's discuss question number 6. The masses of a group of 8 pupils have a mean of 45 kg and a variance of 2.5 kg. Okay, the variance 2.5 kg square. So calculate, you're asking to calculate the sum of masses of 8 pupils. Okay, n is 8 lah here. 8 pupils mean n is 8. Okay, summation of the masses, this is the symbol, so you need to write down the symbol. Summation of the x. Okay, you must learn how to write the symbol for formula. And n, you must write n equal to 8. So then we will use a formula. Okay, we have the formula for mean. Remember, mean is equal to summation of x over n. So summation of x means sum of the masses or sum of the data. Okay, so we are given 45, so we just substitute mean 45. Okay, given in the question, and summation of x is the one that you want to find. So you just copy back summation of x. okay, is over 8, so n is 8. So that means we just cross multiply 8 times 45. So summation of the masses is 360. 360 is the summation of the masses. Okay, then we will discuss question B now. For question B, they ask you to find the sum of square of the masses. So that is how you write, okay, sigma x square. So summation of the x square, you must write down the variance formula. Okay, so variance is equal to summation of data square over n minus mean square. So we will substitute the data into the formula because the variance was given 2.5 from the question. Okay, variance 2.5 given, substitute, then we will substitute the n also. N was given 8 just now in the question, and also, okay, n is 8, and you also given mean 45. Okay, mean was given from the question also. So actually you just plug in all the information from the question and you just solve to get the summation of the x squared. But please remember that when you simplify, you cannot multiply first. Summation of x squared is 2.5 plus. Okay, we plus. Okay, let's see question number 7. The mean of a set number given, there are 5 numbers, m minus 4, m plus 2, 2m plus 3 is 10. Okay, mean was given 10. Calculate the value of m. Okay, so for a question like this, first of all, we need to use a mean given. Write down the formula for mean. Okay, mean is equal to sum of all the data divided by n. So mean is 10. Okay, so we need to add all the data given. So summation of data means add all the data given. So we are going to plus 1 by 1. Okay, m minus 4, the first one. Second is m plus 2, the third one, plus the fourth one, 2m plus 2m plus 3. So we plus all the data, m minus 4 plus m plus 2 plus 2m plus 2m plus 3, then divide by 5. Okay, there are 5 data there, 5 numbers, so we just solve. 5 times 10 is 50, and m you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7m. Okay, 7m, then the number. So you have to double check your 7m carefully. Okay, 1m, 2m, 3m, 3 plus 2, 5m, 5 plus 2, 7m. Okay, 7m plus 1, correct? So then we simplify. 50 minus 1, 49. 49 equal to 7m. So we solve the m is 49 over 7. So m is 7. Okay. So answer m is equal to 7. Now for part 2, you have to find the standard deviation. So in this case, you have to use your m value just now. You have to substitute the m equal to 7 into the set of numbers. Okay, you need to list out the set of numbers before you do the standard deviation. So now we are going to substitute one by one into the number. So example, m plus 2 will be 7 plus 2, and 2m will be 2 times 7, and then 2m plus 3 will be 2 times 7 plus 3. So in order to find the standard deviation, we need to list out all the number, start from 3, 7, 9, 14, 17, okay, and then the mean was given 10. So the formula for standard deviation is sum of the data square divided by n. So in order to find standard deviation, we need to write the formula first. Sum of data square over n minus mean square. So we take the data, we will square one by one with plus. Sum of data square means we take 3 square plus 7 square plus 9 square plus 14 square plus 17 square over 5 minus 10 square. Okay, then we need to square root the answer to get the value for standard deviation. So the mean was given 10, so we just minus the 10 square. Don't forget to square the mean. Okay, after you minus mean square, you need to square root in order to get the value for standard deviation. So the answer for standard deviation is 4.98. Okay, that is the answer for standard deviation. So for okay, let's see question number 7b. Okay, each number in the set of data is multiplied by 3 and then added by 2. Okay, multiplied by 3 and added by 2. Okay, that means we will take the data just now and we will multiply by 3 and plus 2. Maybe some of you will take the data and then you times 3, then you plus 2, then only you find the variance. But actually, we don't encourage you to do so. Okay, we want you to use the shortcut. So the new variance is equal to k squared times the original variance. Still remember the concept that I teach you previously? Let's refresh what you have learned previously. New variance is equal to k squared times original variance if the new set of data is multiplied by a constant k. So here we multiply by 3. That means the constant k is 3. So our new variance now is equal to the 3 square times the original variance. Okay, just now we have found the original variance, so we'll use it later. And also there are no changes to the measure of dispersion when each value of a set of data is added or subtracted by a constant. So when you plus or you minus, there is no changes to range, to interquartile range, or even to variance and standard deviation. So remember that added or subtracted by a constant does not change the value of the measure of dispersion. So we are going to use this concept to find a new variance. So that means our new variance will not be affected by added by 2. Okay, we can just ignore added by 2. So actually the answer is very simple if you understand the concept. So the new variance is equal to 3 square times the original variance. Okay, so the times with the k, meaning that the number that you multiply. Okay, k is actually 3. The constant is a number, so we will substitute k equal to 3 here. So new variance is equal to 3 square times original variance. Okay, just now you have the original standard deviation, so you need to square the standard deviation to find the variance. So the standard deviation is actually square root of the variance. So if you want to get the variance, you need to square your standard deviation. So we will take our standard deviation just now and we need to square it in order to get the variance. So variance can be found using square the standard deviation, because standard deviation is equal to square root of variance. So we will take the standard deviation just now and we need to square it in order to get the variance. So now we go back to our question. We want to find the new variance after multiply by 3. So the 3 is a number that we multiply, that is the k. 3 square times the original standard deviation, which is just now our answer 4.98. We need to square it. We will square the standard deviation, we get the variance. So the answer is 3 square times 4.98 square. So the new variance is equal to 3 square times 4.98 square. So in order to get the answer, you just multiply 3 square times 4.98 square. You get 223.2. That is the answer for the new variance after the data is multiplied by 3 and plus 2. So the answer is 223.2 must be in 4 significant figure. Okay, so this question you need to understand the concept and you must memorize the shortcut so that you can solve the problem. Okay, please do not use the data and then you find your new variance again using the formula. We don't encourage you to use a longer way to do. We prefer the student can memorize a shortcut. After you memorize the shortcut, then you apply here. What okay, student.